20 years later, and we've got ourselves The Devil Wears Prada 2. This is how you do a sequel all these years later. It retains major key elements of the first film, notably the fashion industry presence, right? It's chic. It's got needle drops, like Vogue is played. That's no surprise there. But it actually adapted to the times to have some pretty relevant social commentary on the industry as a whole. Not just fashion, the journalism side of things, especially with Andy's character played by Anne Hathaway. You see how she has to adapt on the fly, and that kind of opens the door to a larger conversation just about the current state of journalism in our world today, and how not just journalism, but a lot of major fields are trying to consolidate, almost have a shift to where, hey, we don't have to hire as many people. That way we can save money. We can maybe use AI, dabbling in that a little bit. So the movie touches on all those aspects. And with the journalism side of things, it taps into sort of the business elements and ownership of Runway at large. That entire aspect of the film reminded me a lot of Succession, which is a phenomenal TV show, but not just because they're talking about ownership of companies and who might buy said company, but even the way certain moments were shot were like shaky cam, handheld with zoom ins, and I was like, this feels very Succession to me in the best way possible. When it comes to the performances themselves, I think Meryl Streep's a powerhouse yet again. She doesn't miss a beat here. In fact, all the characters are actually given a lot more depth. I appreciate how we get to see more of a human side to Miranda Priestley. Emily Blunt's character, one of the most fascinating to me in this new movie. And as sort of the mystery unravels, we see what ultimately led her to where she is today. I don't want to say too much for those who haven't seen it, but roles have definitely changed since that first movie. However, my favorite character still is Nigel, played by Stanley Tucci. He is the man, and it brought the energy. It doesn't feel like a rehash of the first movie. A lot of times sequels, especially this many years later, just feel like a rehash or replay of the greatest hits of the original movie, and that's not at all the case here. If I had to knock the movie a bit, it got a little too callback/reference heavy early on, where it was like, hey guys, this is The Devil Wears Prada. Remember this? This was in The Devil Wears Prada. It is a good thing to do, but it could be a little overkill at times. But in the end, I think fans of the original will really enjoy The Devil Wears Prada 2. I can't say it surpasses the original, what sequel really does, but it's arguably right there neck and neck with it.